honors a fallen hero.
Breaking right now at 6, remembering a Plainville volunteer firefighter killed in the line of duty. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Kyle Jones. We begin with that breaking news out of Plainville. Flags are now flying at half-staff in honor of volunteer firefighter Raymond Moreau. He was a husband and 35-year veteran of the Plainville Fire Department. He died after getting struck while responding to this house fire on Maria Road this morning. He was brought to the hospital of Central Connecticut in New Britain, where he passed away. A procession then carried his body to the office of the chief medical examiner in Farmington. Now, that procession included state police and motorcycles, Plainville cruisers, and New Britain fire trucks. They passed through I-84 in Farmington there. Now, that was before they arrived at the medical examiner's office, where an American flag was hanging from a ladder truck as they arrived. Bunting is now hanging outside of the Plainville Fire Department, and people have been coming by to drop off flowers. And then we have live team coverage beginning with NBC Connecticut's David Horowitz with more on the update we just got from responders just a few moments ago. David.
Kyle, a sad day indeed. A community now mourning this, as you mentioned, Raymond Moreau, a 60-year-old volunteer firefighter, dying after responding to that house fire in Plainville earlier this morning at around 6:20. Now, this is what we know so far from officials. That fire broke out at 6:20 on Maria Road. That's when dozens of fire departments responded. Moreau was standing outside that home when the fire apparatus and part of the truck broke free and hit him. He was rushed to the hospital in New Britain, where he died during surgery.
A piece of the fire truck broke free of the apparatus and struck firefighter Moreau, causing catastrophic injuries to his leg. Firefighter Moreau was transported to the Hospital of Central Connecticut in New Britain, where he succumbed to his injuries during surgery. Ray was a decorated 35-year veteran of the Plainville Fire Department.
The loss of Ray Moreau cuts like a knife at the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. This isn't merely a job or a hobby. Being a volunteer firefighter, it is a calling. And Ray answered the call.
And Moreau began his career in July of 1990 and volunteered countless hours for the community. He was also a veteran of the Marines. Now, bunting is now up at the fire department, and people have already started to stop by to pay their respects, placing flowers outside. Now, a sad day indeed. Police were telling us they're grateful for the support and everyone who has stopped by. They also tell us that Connecticut State Police will now continue on and take over this investigation. For now, in Plainville, David Horowitz, NBC Connecticut News. Kyle, back over to you.
All right, Dave, thank you. And our team coverage continues now with NBC Connecticut's Jeremy Chen. He's at the scene of that house fire this morning on Maria Road. Jeremy, can you tell us what the feeling is like in that neighborhood as all of this unfolded today?
Well, Kyle, right now, state police are at the scene of that house fire here on Maria Road. Just let me take a step back and show you. You could just see them sifting through the charred remains and ashes from this home, which is where this house fire actually happened. Ultimately, what they're trying to figure out is A, how this fire exactly started, and B, what led to the death of volunteer firefighter Ray Moreau during the response. Now, one neighbor took this video of the large fire coming from that home on Maria Road early this morning. Dozens of fire departments showed up to help with the response. They were able to put out the fire, but Plainville firefighters say the house was completely destroyed. The neighbor says she was shocked to see the fire in the first place.
I just looked out my window, and that's when I saw, the house completely lit up in flames, especially the front of the house, top to bottom.
Now, that neighbor tells me she knows the family that lived inside the home and says they were all able to get out of the home safely. However, they are in a state of shock as, of course, not only did they lose their home, but also the loss of firefighter Ray Moreau still weighing on their minds. Of course, if we do get any more updates about this particular fire, we'll be sure to share that with you on air and online at NBCConnecticut.com and the NBC Connecticut app. Live in Plainville, Jeremy Chen, NBC Connecticut News. Send it back to you in the studio.